So my new hobby has been making these rings, and I see a lot of fellow ring makers making various types and that sort of thing. And kind of wanted to cover something different for those who are starting out in this hobby. And basically, if the finished product is not this, this is almost towards the end. I'm waiting on a ring sizer, but in the meantime, I kind of want to go over some of the possible questions or thoughts and things, and what I did to kind of help facilitate an easier way, so to speak. So some of the tools, for instance, I bought these little stoppers at a store, Ace Hardware. That's like 23 cents, 24 cents. And I got 3 different sizes and one here. So basically what I did is I drilled into it, the center, the best I could. It's a little, not quite the center, but you got the point. And instead of paying $50 for now, I mean, possibly can get it later, just to save money wise, that's what I kind of did. So to get from here, right, and we punch it with this set, and you can go through all the videos and get all this at Harbor Freight, $30. What I did is I just kind of cut this in half to help center it. Does that make sense? Something just to kind of get in there. It's gonna last a while. Of course, different sizes. You can look up at the other videos everybody else has, which is helpful. It talks about a lot of these things going on. Of course, you talk about the 4-ton, 6-ton for me. And what I did is, you can see, I modified some things. So I kind of like try to improve what I have, and basically because when you get this, you have to use this to release the air pressure that you build up, right? So you're building up, you're going down, that sort of thing, and then I just use that. So basically I had a die, and I drilled in the center of it, and I used Gorilla Glue, and I just stuck it on there, and it's been on there ever since. Whole golf ball, because I was tired of doing this number, and it's just more convenient. So a little modification, that might be something you might be interested in, might help you out, because taking this off and on, back and forth, it's really cumbersome and it's annoying, especially if you're really into working. And this is a little quick knob, and it is very helpful. I don't even think about it anymore. Of course, your doming block, which helps out for beginners, and intermediates, and even advanced stuff. But I've also come to find out you're really going to need something like this. And this is basically coming from a Hobby Lobby. It's probably $6-8, something like that. I forgot. But this helps out a lot. Of course, the torch you can find anywhere. I think I got it at Ace Hardware. And then, of course, the cylinders, Ace Hardware is the cheapest where I can find out, and that helps out a lot. So just quickly kick that on, light it. If you're in a garage, which seems to be the most case for everybody, including myself, Harbor Freight, $12, and that light helps. So you can see, it really shines up if you're working in a garage. So these little tools, I'm trying to express how easier it is to make it for yourself to see and use. And then, of course, here's another helpful tip, was this here from Harbor Freight. And you buy something, and I got these off Amazon. And what the difference between these and these depends. So sometimes these ball is a little smaller than those for some points. Not all, but it does help when you use these to start your pushing in. You get in that cone shape, right? So when you get that cone shape, sometimes you can use it to reshape it back into perfect shape. That happens sometimes. And then what helps with this is that you can find out your Ferris coins, and you will find them. But you know, I've seen some videos where people talk about, hey, you know, it's just a lot of hassle, a lot of work. It is, but I did 2 Italian lures, one for me, one for my wife, and they came out really nice. And I'm planning on do some more. You just have a lot more work, but I suggest you start with quarters and practice as I took the advice from others who say start with quarters and work your way up. So basically that sticks right on there. Very helpful. You have easy to put things away. It's out of your way, and if you need them, bam, you got it, right? So the doming block, the dapping, you know, obviously with the press, you're not going to be able to get in there, which I found, because I did have a Harbor press that would press down, and it was convenient, but they had a big opening in the center. And you know, I did some fiddling around trying to figure it out, and it seemed like it was just more of a hassle because a lot of pressure has got to be pushed down. So 6-ton, you know, it's $75 I think for this whole thing. It sits pretty much on my whole desk there, but is a great tool, and you're going to utilize this a lot. You got to put it together, you know, make sure you follow the instructions, and it works out just great. When you're what I like to do is also have something to surface. You know, you're going to end up buying a mandrel. This one is from Hobby Lobby, and it sucked. It was good at first, kind of get an idea, but I went on Amazon and I actually got a steel as they suggested. So steel a little more. It was about 19, maybe $9, $10, but as you can see, it's some wear and tear. But you're beginning, you know, that little cost is okay for now. I'm waiting on my actual press, which will have that ring sizer, and then of course you might want to invest in something like this. This is about $2 at Harbor Freight, and you know, it helps with the deburring process in the center of the coin. You can really see there, so you can see that, and I'll talk about that too. You can find some good sandpaper here. $4.29 Hobby Lobby. You get a 20% discount on, or even the coupons they have sometimes. Other types of sandpaper. Of course, you got the wool. So there's various ways of doing things to help you out. And these are all just tools, and it's going to cost you a little bit, you know, as anything else. You know, you buy what you get when you pay. So when I first started making the quarters, it's a hedge adjusted for beginners. You can see it's, if you're a beginner, you might be like, wow, that's cool. But you can see that lip kind of come up, you know. Looking back now, and I kept these on purpose. Some of them I did throw away. I wish I hadn't done that, because I could look back and go, wow, you know, I could probably have corrected some of these things. You could look on the insides and the overall product, you know, as a beginner, it's going to look like this, and that's okay because you're learning. So as you get used to the feel of pressing, you know, getting the coin in here for quarters, you've got that size, and it just barely, I mean, really barely fits in there. So you kind of have to really be cautious with that. Don't ever force anything. When in doubt, let's go a little bigger. It's not a big deal. Just stick it in there once you punch that hole in the center. And punch that hole in the center, and this is a project I'm working for a client. And basically, it's right back there. Those are all the ones I've done so far. So he's like, hey, you know, make various sizes, and he wants to give them away. And I actually have an Etsy account. It's Kill Creative Wear on Etsy, and I'm selling some stuff, so I'm just trying to make a little money. Friends, of course, you know, asked, hey, can you make something? So I tried to do that also. and everybody else likes to have some kind of income, you know, so you can support your hobby. It's fun. And there you go. So that took one of those. Makes sense. So as you press down, and I can tell you that too. You're pressing down. You gotta anneal it. You know, you're heating it up. Basically, you're taking this, starting it up. I just grab some tweezers. I hold it, and you know, I've come to find out, you know, the various types of metals, and all the videos will tell you exactly. And here's what I'm going to tell you: copper, your brass. That content is a lot easier to work with, so you're not going to get a lot of heartache. A quarter, clad quarter. Not a lot of silver, just a mixture of copper and zinc and that kind of thing. It's going to be easier. You can heat this sucker up like red hot and then quench it. And it's done, right? Then you can automatically touch it too, you know, so it's not going to burn you or anything like that. Same thing goes with this. So what I started doing is basically counting. You have other types of coins that I want to work on, and I've done, you can see on Etsy account. It's fun, but they also burn differently too. So you have to really get used to doing it, first of all, and noticing in the sounds and everything else. So if you take a penny, you take a penny, and I said, yeah, I'll try it. Why not? You know. So the date on this one is, I think, 1976, I believe. 75. Might not be too bad. But anything newer, after a couple of seconds in the flame, pow, that's what happens. Destroyed. Epic fail. Right. But that's okay. I hold on to it. There's been other coins I've done, challenge coins. Still working on that. And I've got marks and things like that. And I could talk about that at some other point. The whole idea of this whole conversation, this whole idea of showing you, is basically giving you the ideas of how it works, what's invested, and it's time. So as you get better at it, you come upon products, you listen to other suggestions. The Dremel, of course, helps out tremendously. Little buffers helps out. Sanding, you'll definitely need a mallet. The wrap, you see videos on that. Start using that as you get better at your craft. And we talk about sanding. So when you punch a hole, you're going to get these little, let's see on here. And that's how pretty much how I look at it. I look at it, I turn it around, I see on the inside. And then you see on the outside. So what's the outside tell me? You see that tire, right, the car, and you can see little edges because of the imprint. You have to really, and what I do is right there, see that in the corner? That's nothing right now. That's even closer, see that? You can, I'd have to sand that more. And you can hand sand that, and after a while, because I've worked with the ferrous that magnetize, so it actually sticks to a magnet. I'll show you an example. It does not stick. Does not stick. Come over here. Perfect. But these do. Right? They're ferrous. They're going to stick. And what happens is when you punch that hole, just fine. It's going to work. And then you heat it up, you've really got to pay attention. So once you quench it and you punch that hole, right? Punch the hole, the diameter that you want. We'll talk about that later. Bend it like here. That final product, once you bend it, looks like this. You really got to pay attention, because all those imprints, that includes that $50, the Kennedy, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, those imprints can be a hassle because that will create a crack. And if you're not paying attention, that crack will creak on you. So let me show you my examples. There you go.